Hello everyone and welcome to Garage Rock, the podcast, season finale for 2019. My name is Steve and joining me for the last time this decade, it's Mr. Cameron Banfield. How's it going, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
Oh, I'm all soaked up in the Christmas and the New Year spirit.
I know, but
there.
Isn't it weird that this is the last episode for season 2?
Yes.
Season 2, it's never ever going to be season 2 again.
You're
ever.
right.
I'm feeling quite anxious. I'm having separation anxiety about that. What if season 3 is not like season 2? Like what? I don't get it.
What if it's better?
It's going to be better.
It's going to be better.
Every episode gets better.
Couldn't get much worse. Anyway, but no, it's been a big year. But before we get into our year, of course, you can contact us even over the break. We'll be taking a break for over the New Year's, but you can contact us garagerockpodcast@gmail.com.
Make sure you do, because Steve, in these lonely times of Christmas when you're with your family and everything.
And I'm not, and I'm just sitting there by my email waiting for a ping.
He's sitting on the computer waiting for a ding. You've got mail.
and it's fantastic when it's an actual person and not spam. So please feel free to contact us, but also our socials, Cam.
We prefer real meat on Christmas, not spam.
Yeah.
Oh,
God.
Yummy.
Yummy.
I can just imagine Steve sitting down Christmas night by the computer with a lonely candlelight, nice tin of spam.
Swirling the spam open. The spam open? The spam open. Get a spam opener.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Because normally it's a ring pull, but that pulled off because just that's how your life goes.
That's pretty much it. I'm just gnawing at the can with my teeth now, just trying to get low. Fucking 2019 is fantastic.
Oh. Wow, this took a turn for the worst.
It did. Socials, Cam.
Socials, yeah. We're on Facebook as well as Instagram with the handle @Garage Rock Podcast. Make sure you check us out.
Yeah, like, share and subscribe, you guys. That's your line, yeah, definitely. So it is Christmas time, of course, and actually I've rocked up to your house and you've got alternating red and green toenail polish on each of your feet.
Elf on a shelf, toes. Steve. They got to me while I was asleep.
The elf on the shelf.
Elf on the shelf, which is weird because I got home from work last night at 3 a.m.
Yes.
Minding my own business, have a shower, minding my own business, go to bed, minding my own business, and woke up in the morning and I've got red and green toenail polish.
Really?
And the elves are on the shelf with nail polish. So why did they choose me out of the whole house to paint my nails?
Are you sure that they did that or they were just huffing the fumes? It could be. Those elves, they get up to some mysterious shit because you've got a son and a daughter. They're both in the elf on the shelf age bracket.
Yes, yeah, they absolutely love it. They live for it. And when they saw that my nails were painted, they got a giggle.
They got a giggle.
How do I get this off?
I know. Acetone?
More importantly, how do I get it off the bed sheets?
Those elves are up to a lot of no good, to be honest. But also, because it's been a while since we've done a proper episode, we did do our Good Things review. And once again, thank you to Good Things for having us. And 9 interviews?
9 interviews.
Fantastic,
and then we've done another 3 since then as well.
Yeah.
2, 3?
Busy
I
little
can't
base,
remember.
something like that. Too many to remember.
Too many to remember.
But you also emceed a wedding as well. How'd that go?
Yes, it went... It went really well. One of my good mates, Trav, got married and we used to play in a band with him. So all my old bandmates were there. Good mates, a lot of good mates there. And we had a brilliant time and the emceeing went well. There was a few inappropriate jokes, but I think they went down well.
Because the reason I brought this up, because this isn't on the rundown, I just wanted to bring it up because we were just chatting and you said, the bukkake joke went over really well. So you told a joke about a bukkake at a wedding.
Yeah, and it was at the end of my formalities, so I thought I'd put it out there. And in my defence, Steve,
yeah,
the bride told me to say the joke.
The bride told you to say
yes, because she's Norwegian.
Oh, right.
So they had a Norwegian style cake, which is called a kransekake.
Oh, right.
Right. I'm so proud I got that right now.
Well done.
Yeah.
Even with the accent.
And if you've never seen a kransekake cake, it is basically a conical style shape with basically vegan style donuts where they get bigger to smaller as they go up. So it makes it a cone sort of shape. And it's all put together with like this white glaze. So it looks like a bukkake cake.
Right.
So I made sure that the crowd did hear me right, that it was a kransekake, not a bukkake cake. And for the older people, it went straight over their head. So that was
Fantastic, good.
And for the younger people, they were either shocked or pissing themselves. And a lot of people come up to me after and said, how the hell did you manage to get bukkake in a wedding? So it worked well, but it was fun.
Fantastic.
I also met one of the blokes who did a speech was one of Trav and his wife, now wife, Mo, and their old housemate named Max. Absolute top bloke. And I was sitting across from him when we were eating our dinner. It was a sit-down dinner. Mm-hmm. And I said, so Max, he was a bit nervous about his speech, so I was just talking to him, and he was all good. He has an American accent, but he's Polish. He learnt English with an American accent while he was over there, so it was cool. I said, what do you do, Max? And he's like, I'm a philosopher. I'm like, wow, I've never met a philosopher. And in my infinite wisdom, Steve, of philosophy, I turned around and said to him, what did you think of the first Harry Potter?
Come on.
The Philosopher's Stone, Steve.
I know. Of all the things you can ask a philosopher, what's the meaning of life? Why are we here? All of this kind of stuff. You just go with either a question about bukkake or the first Harry Potter book. And, well, you probably made the safer choice of the two, if I'm making honest.
In my defense, again, Steve, before I had that conversation with him, I met him just before, and he was saying how he was doing a speech, and he was a little bit nervous, and he had a boner joke. And I said, you've got to put the boner joke in there. And he's like, I'm not sure. And his wife's, you got to put the boner joke in there. I'm like, you put the boner joke in there. So it was sort of,
fair
stoned
enough.
philosopher. Philosopher's Stone, yeah, you get it.
Yeah, because he was hard as a rock. Fantastic.
It was a great day, but enough about my wedding. How was yours?
Me, just sitting there, bukkake of one. Shouldn't have said that we had beer in your mouth.
Oh, you're almost bukkake'd all over you.
Party of five, no bukkake of one. Anyway, let's get away from the bukkake jokes, because before people start Googling what that is, 2019 in reflection for us, we did 84 podcasts this year, and this has been a busy year. I mean, you've gone overseas twice.
I know. Before this year, Steve, I looked 23. Now I look 80.
That is true. That is true. But if I'm being completely honest, the nail polish on your toes brings you back to a relative 60, if I'm being honest.
Oh, I look like a Christmassy hobbit.
You do, you hairy fuck.
Bring
Anyway.
Lord of the Rings in again.
So we did do 84...
Lord of the Rings in again.
So we did do 84 podcasts this year, 62 interviews. That's more than one a week, Cam.
Jesus. And that's just for when you were going for jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, but apparently he's dead. We did 18 Garage Rock.
Steve Jobs. Oh, God.
Get it, I'm Steve and going for jobs. Yeah, there we go. We did 18 episodes of Garage Rock, and we also did 4 event review specials, including Falls Festival, Unify Gathering, Download Festival, and Good Things. And we featured 123 tracks of new music. So that's new music from new bands that most people don't even know.
Isn't that weird how it's 1, 2, 3?
It did work out pretty well. That's including the 6 that we're featuring a little later on. So that rounds it off to 123.
We've got some good songs this week. Don't forget our question of the week this week, Steve, which we're going to get onto a bit later, which was, what was your favourite released for 2019?
Exactly. We went some fantastic gigs, though, as well this year. I mean, DZ Death Rays, Motor Race, Body Jar in 28 Days were great. Despotines, UMI, Jebediah, Grinspoon, Gyroscope, Spiderbait, Press Club, U2, Elton John. Going to talk about that a bit later on as well.
Boys to Men.
Boys to Men,
yeah,
of course.
Blink-182 and
of course.
Neck Deep.
Yes.
Little Wayne.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Rewind back to listen to that again. But
David Copperfield.
David Copperfield. But we're looking forward to 2020.
Oh, mate. I can't wait to finally have clear vision.
Jesus Christ.
No, what?
That was awful.
That was great.
Oh, man. The dad jokes are back. We've got Unify Gathering coming. Probably not. We've got Unify Gathering coming up soon with Architects and Polaris and many other Architects. Sorry. Beer in the back of my throat's coming out.
We can dress as pirates and say Architects.
Or we could just be Scottish and go Architects. And Download Festival with My Chemical Romance, Deftones, Jimmy Eat World, Clutch. That's a big festival coming up.
I did see you post the set list for Mike Chem.
Yeah,
that was delicious.
it was. I quite like that. There's a good mix throughout their records as well.
I think that's what they would have to do in this stage in their career is to have a good mix of stages of their life.
Yeah, but I thought because their last album didn't do so well that they might kind of just
forget about it.
Just pave over it, maybe play one or two songs. But no, they played a few tracks off that, including some album tracks. So good on them. But Cam, I want to know what's your favourite moment of 2019 been?
Very, very tough, Steve. Did I mention when I went and saw Blink-182 in their hometown, San Diego, and then in LA?
Did you?
Yeah, that wasn't it. But
really? So
No,
something was better than that.
Well, equally as fun was when I sang with Gyroscope.
Yes.
That was awesome.
That would have been fun.
So I've got to put those both up there, Steve. There's just so much stuff that we've done, which everyone's heard about on this podcast anyway. But yeah, I'd say Blink and singing with Gyroscope, definitely, without a doubt, awesome. Sometimes you just sit there and go, how the hell did all this happen?
Yeah. It is December already. It's the end of the year.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. What about you, Steve? Favourite moments of this year?
Favourite moment?
Does it have to be musical? It could be whatever you want.
There was that time I got blown in a car park.
It was a windy day.
True. I was just joking. No, I'd have to say seeing U2 play the Joshua Tree, that's just such a great concert. I mean, been to quite a lot of concerts as I've read out before, but yeah, I'd have to say that it takes a cake.
We have lived this year, Steve. We've done so much, so I think it's a well-deserved break after tonight.
Yes, especially. But also, we've got a lot to look forward to next year.
I am looking forward to getting rid of my glasses next year.
Oh, you're getting rid of your glasses?
Well, 2020, hopefully.
Seriously?
Fuck me.
Jesus.
Can I do the same joke 3 times? Apparently, if you do a joke 3 times, it's funny on the 3rd time.
Is it?
So that was 2.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the 3rd. You could be very tactical, slip it in there subtly and see how we go. Music for 2020 though. I'm looking forward to Violent Soho. They've released a couple of tracks.
They've got a tour.
They've got a tour, but in our interview they mentioned that they've got an album coming out, an album and a tour.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to hearing the full album. They've dropped 2 songs so far. Also, the band Loser, who was my find of 2018.
Yep.
Yeah, they've got their debut album coming out next year as well. So I'm looking forward to that. Is there any new music that you're looking forward to in 2020?
Well, there is rumours of Gyroscope new music.
Yes,
which would be interesting with their new drummer.
Yeah.
I'll look forward to seeing what's happening with that. But also Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yes.
John Frusciante's back in the band, and I would be really keen to. Surely they're going to release new music. They've got to, and hopefully they come out again. Because we saw Chili Peppers. I saw Chili Peppers this year.
Yeah, of course.
Forgot to mention that. Did we mention that?
Forgot to mention
the new Detention.
Yeah,
Greenspoon. We mentioned them, but forgot Chili Willy.
Of course.
But yeah, for those that don't know, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, we want Chili Willy, have announced on social media that the current guitarist Josh Klinghoffer will be leaving the band, and their former guitarist John Frusciante, me and Steve's favourite Chili Peppers guitarist.
Well, if we're picking,
if you had to pick, will be coming back to the band after leaving in 2009. Steve,
that's pretty big news. It's a huge, and they just dropped this statement out of nowhere.
I know, it just came out of nowhere, and I just finished reading the Flea book.
Oh yeah, how was it?
That was brilliant.
Yeah.
You're
going to compare it to Scar Tissue? You're thinking about comparing it to Scar Tissue, aren't you?
I am. Not as good, but
no. Well, hey,
different because, and I think it's a part 1, which I didn't realise till the very, very end. It was mainly his younger years, and I think it's going to be the next book about his older years, sort of like
Acid
working
for the adults.
Class. Yeah, maybe.
There we go.
Maybe like working class man, like
Jimmy Barnes.
But yeah, Flea's bloody interesting character.
Oh yeah,
great stories. I just probably liked Scar Tissue, how it flowed from early days up to.
Could that be because he's a lyricist, perhaps?
Yeah, it's very in order.
Oh yeah,
Flea was sort of a little bit scattered.
Yeah, very much like Flea.
Yeah, so it worked.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I recommend it anyway. But back to the Chili Peppers properly.
Yes.
And the news. The statement came out, Steve, and it read, "Josh is a beautiful musician who we respect and love. We are deeply grateful for our time with him and the countless gifts he has shared with us. We also announce with great excitement and full hearts that John Frusciante is rejoining the group. Thank you.
That is...
Steve, it was plastered all over the internet, and I was so freaking excited because my favourite Chili Peppers album that really cemented me was Californication when we were teenagers. Yeah. But obviously I remember Blood Sugar Sex Magic as a kid coming up and Under the Bridge and all that, and just him wearing his beanie hat on the Under the Bridge film clip, and Anthony Kiedis running with his hands straight, which I found was weird, which I still remember watching that as a kid thinking that's strange. But John Frusciante originally joined the band with the Chili Peppers in 88, leaving in 92 before joining the band again in 98 to record Californication. Before leaving the band again in 2009 when Josh Klinghoffer took over. Yeah, so Frusciante recorded 5 albums with the band, including Blood Sugar Sex Magic, Californication, and By the Way. Yeah. Which is, you can definitely tell that it's him. Yes. But yeah, he's chopped and changed a bit over the years, and he's done a bit of like solo stuff and gone out on his own for a while as well. Well, that's it. Josh Klinghoffer worked with John Frusciante on his solo stuff. I don't know if it was look, I'm leaving the band, but I thoroughly suggest Josh is my replacement. Yeah. That could have been part of it. I don't know. Maybe it is common knowledge. I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like, did Josh just go, look, John wants to come back in, I'm bowing out? Or was it a case of the band have said, hey, look, John wants to come back in, Josh, please step aside? Yeah, it'd be interesting to know how it did come about, and is there any love lost? But I don't know, and we will never know. Possibly, I don't know. Wait until Josh brings out his book. Yeah. I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll eventually come out. Everything usually does in the wash anyway, but it's going to be interesting to sort of find out how it all took place, because it is quite an interesting thing. Like, what? He was kicked out. He heard John was coming back and he bowed out. Like, what? I get why these statements have to be so politically correct, but wouldn't it be kind of nice? Like, I'm talking across the board, all over the world about everything. Yeah. If we could just be honest. Yeah. Without being rude, like not saying, oh, we kicked Josh out because he was a cunt, so we got John back. Can't we say, oh, we didn't enjoy Josh's company, so we've decided to bring John Frusciante, was happy to come back to the band. Like, just be honest. So I don't even know if it was that they were sick of Josh. I think it was a case of... No, I don't think it was that, but, I'm just saying, can we be honest? But that's just not how the world works. No, it's not. But look, some people are. So it'll be interesting to see how it all comes out, Steve, but I'm really excited for John Frusciante to be back. Hopefully new music, hopefully a tour again. Yep. That'll be brilliant to see them again. But Steve... Yes. Enough about John Frusciante. Yes. You went to a couple of gigs. Yes. Do talk. I had a busy weekend, man. I had work Christmas party drinks on the Friday, and I got relatively smashed. And you bloody soak. You're an alcoholic. Hardly. Since you've worked in the bank, you're an alcoholic. Look, I'm just in moderation, just enjoying in moderation. Drink responsibly. You've got a hip flask under your desk, don't you? I've got a hip flask right now, just to get through this shit. Anyway, no, I mean the lady, her name is Hip, last name Flask, under your desk. Her name is Hip Flask. That doesn't really work, but hey, fuck it, we'll go with it. Hey, straws clutching at end of year, new jokes, 2020 vision channel. Steve. Crying out Continue. Loud. Was that your third attempt, or that wasn't? That was just a reference to it. That wasn't, yeah. Anyway. Yes, I went, and then the following night, I went to see a Nirvana cover band from the UK called Nirvana UK, and Cam, it was amazing. It was an awesome show. Yeah. Did they play Smells Like Teen Spirit? They did. Oh, you're joking. No. I wasn't sure whether they'd play that. Yeah, I know, right? No, anyway, did they do it well, did they? Look, the thing is, I was 8 years old when Kurt Cobain passed away, and so I never got to, experience a Nirvana concert. Yep. This is probably the closest I'm going to get, and it was probably the closest you could get, if I'm being honest. They played 30 tracks. So wow, it was that's a decent set, isn't it? Exactly, and... look, and the crowd just really got into it as well. They played a good mix of all their songs, and the lead singer
I mean, he was right-handed, but apart from that, he had the same guitar and he wore the same clothes and he looked like Cobain and the hair and
Did they
everything.
do costume changes?
They didn't do costume changes because that wasn't really a Nirvana thing anyway, really.
No, I'm just wondering if they did across the...
Oh, like
time,
the eras.
you know.
Nah, well, you can tell that they'd studied their movement. Like he moved like Kurt Cobain, and the drummer drummed like Dave Grohl. Like he beat the shit out of those things, which was fantastic.
Did Cobain wear the cigarette singed cardigan?
He wore a cardigan.
Maybe he bought the one for $500,000.
I highly doubt that. But he did
wore
buy
it on stage.
Yeah, I'll just wear it around. He did have a backup guitar that he smashed in the last song.
Oh, great.
It was fantastic. You could tell that the crowd has obviously aged. Like a few songs into it, it was still like everyone's just bopping along and just having it, headbanging a bit. And then they played Breed off Nevermind, which is one of my favourite tracks. Yep. And then a pit just opened up and everyone's just jumping into each other, shoving people, and it got really, really sweaty. And for a couple of tracks, everyone's getting really hardcore into it, like it would have been back in the early 90s. And then after those songs, everyone was just they had a breath.
Anyone got a defib? Where's the defib?
You got a bunch of people in their 30s, 40s, 50s just jumping into each other and then just going, oh no, that's too much.
I'm not 8 years old anymore.
Exactly. So, but yeah, and then security was like trying to break it up as well. They didn't want too much too crazy, but no, it was a really good show, and the crowd did perk up every now and again, and mosh pit would open up. When they did play Teen Spirit, obviously everything went nuts.
Rape Me.
Yeah. And
Rape Me, did they play
Rape Me? They did
Me?
play Rape Me, and that was like one of the loudest sing-alongs for the night. It was weird. But also, there were times where it's just getting hectic and you're just bouncing around like a washing machine, and you sort of look up and you see a blonde guy, strumming along that guitar.
Yeah.
And, you got a guy who looks like Grohl just smashing it, and you've got other people's heads bobbing around you at the same time. It's like, this is pretty much as close as it's going to get.
Yeah, totally.
To being it.
Did they keep it just a 3-piece?
Yeah, just a 3-piece.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, the set list was really awesome, and the energy was just there the whole time.
Yeah.
So it was just, like I said, it was fantastic. And actually, the support act was like a Stone Temple Pilots cover band as well.
Oh, right.
So they played as well. And they were pretty good.
I would have liked to have seen Nirvana-rama.
Yes.
Which was Dan Sanders from Gyroscope.
Yep.
And 13.
Yes.
I can't remember who else was in it.
Chris from Jebediah.
Was it? And was there Birds of Tokyo in there somewhere or something?
Yes. Carnival.
Might have been Drew. I should have asked him.
Yeah, it may have been.
Anyway, that would have been, apparently that was awesome, but I don't think they really came over here with it.
No.
They might have once, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Anyway, but so that was fantastic. Then the following night, I took my mum for her 60th birthday, got her tickets to see Elton John.
I would have loved to have seen Elton. Was he good?
Well, it was his last ever tour to Australia, and this is his final ever world tour. He's playing 350 shows. This was the 150th. So it's a big tour for someone in their 70s, let's face it.
Yeah, I was thinking that. You'd be bloody tired doing that.
Well, he's playing 40 shows in Australia and New Zealand.
40 shows. Wow. Is this his retirement fund?
It's definitely his retirement tour, and I don't know. I think he's all right. I think he's well off.
He's putting his kids through college.
Pretty much, and their kids. But probably. But he's just fantastic. He played for just under 3 hours.
Wow.
So, yeah.
3 hours. That's a long set. Was he mainly sitting on his piano or?
Pretty much the whole time. If I'm being honest, probably a bit too much piano for an Elton John.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm taking the piss.
Did anyone offer to push his stool in for him?
Yeah, there were quite a few lovely ladies in the front row who would have loved to have pushed his stool in, but, and fellas. But no, he sat down the whole time, and he he's a good pianist, but until you actually see him doing it and going off on these piano solos, it's like that he's good, but when you actually see it, it's just like, wow, he's that good.
He's a brilliant pianist.
Exactly.
What about, have you seen Rocket Man?
I have not seen Rocket Man.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I have not, no. Have you?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah, it's a great movie. It's everyone compares it to Bohemian Rhapsody,
of course,
which you just can't compare these things, Steve. I mean, it's totally different.
Well, isn't Rocket Man more of a musical?
People are like, it's too much like a musical, but it's fucking Elton John.
Yes, of course
it is.
Yes.
But the way they do it is just brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, it's really tasteful, and it really It tells a brilliant story.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check it out.
Oh, the one of the things I liked about it the most, which the name of the music school escapes me, the one that he went to in London. We actually drove past it when we were doing our tour in London, and they said that's where Elton John, basically honed his craft on piano. And I'm like, wow, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That's where Elton John, got his shit together. It's absolutely brilliant. So, but the movie's good. You got to go check it out.
Yeah, I will do when it ends up on Netflix.
Just like I should have checked out his concert, but I couldn't make it.
Yeah. No, look, it was a really good show.
I couldn't have been in the middle of the year.
Yeah, true.
Not the end of the year when everything's happening.
Exactly.
Why doesn't everyone revolve around me, Steve?
I thought we all did.
Just call me the sun.
Well, I won't let you go down on me. Anyway.
Yes.
He did play that. But one of the weird things was he, some of the visuals at the back of the screen, like the stage was awesome. The stage was amazing. And we put some photos up on the Instagram, and like the backstage, and then kind of towards him was also it was also screens.
Yeah.
And the band were inside the screen.
Oh,
like,
right,
there was
okay.
like cutouts in the screen where the band were. But some of the visuals were weird. It's like Tiny Dancer, which is one of his favourite, biggest songs.
Closer, Ted Danson.
Oh, I heard Tony Danza. not Ted Danson. But anyway.
There's a video of Dave Grohl playing acoustic somewhere, doing some song. I can't remember what it's from, but he's talking about he wants to be in a little baby like wading pool kind of thing, and someone holding him singing Tiny Dancer.
I think I have seen that actually.
So my mate Benny keeps saying that to me. One day we're going to do that.
Hold Dave Grohl in the wading pool. But yeah, like they had like Tiny Dancer, but they've got like some woman spreading ashes out in the ocean and stuff. It's like, well, what's that got to do with the seamstress for the band? Like it's got there were just some videos that just didn't really sync up to
more
the
artsy
songs.
than to do with the song.
Some of them were, but musically, can't fault him. Setlist was really good, quite a variety. There's their track, the opening track for Goodbye Yellow Brick Road is Funeral for a Friend, and they kind of had like a sort of mini intermission, and they've kind of gone off stage, and they've filled the entire stage with smoke. Yeah. And I mean, pumped it full.
Couldn't see anything?
Like, yeah, and it was like wading out into the crowd, like halfway through the crowd, it was just covered in smoke.
Yeah.
And then as the song starts to build up, and then as it's kicked in, he's getting on his piano, and the piano like goes across the stage while he's like wading through the smoke as he's playing the song, and it was really well done. That was really cool.
Do you know people have reactions to that smoke?
Probably, but if they're in the front row, they're probably dead by now. So, and then he'll play, and he's playing Funeral for a Friend, so it's fitting.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Remember that band, Funeral for a Friend?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I reckon they're due to do a fucking retrospective tour of some sort, I reckon.
There you go. They'll play their favourite song, Elton John. But yeah, and he finished with your song and
my song.
Yeah, your song. You can tell everybody that this is your song. I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind.
Your song,
down in
not
words
my song, but
how wonderful life is when you shut the fuck up and listen. And Goodbye Yellow Brick Road was the last song. And Yellow Brick Road. Actually, Queens of the Stone Age covered that.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, it's not as good as the original, but it's all right.
Yeah,
it's good. Anyway, fantastic set. So if you didn't get to see him, there's 40 gigs. You can maybe hop on the end of the tour, and because he's coming back, he's circling back to Melbourne, and he's
coming back to Melbourne.
He's playing at Amy Park.
Oh yeah, I did see them advertise. They've announced more shows
because the Rod Laver one sold out like that.
When's that? Can I go?
I don't know. Fucking ask your wife,
Steve.
I don't know.
You need to be on top of this for me.
Okay. Okay, go onto the Ticketmaster website and find it yourself.
Goodbye,
or even better, Viagogo. Actually, don't
fuck Viagogo.
Did you see the people getting turned away from? It was on the news. People getting turned away from Elton John gigs. They paid $400 for Elton John tickets on Viagogo.
Were they counterfeit?
And they were they were counterfeit.
Oh, well, serves them right.
Yeah.
Fuck them. Just quickly talking about that smoke.
Yes.
They had smoke at my daughter's dance concert.
Oh yeah.
And it's fucking Brilliant dance concert. Brilliant dance school.
And your daughter won the ballet.
She won the Sub-Junior Classical Trophy, which is a fucking big deal, Steve.
Congratulations.
She's an absolute superstar, and they love her there. It's not one of those bullshit awards where everyone gets an award. This is she earned this. So I'm so proud. I cried like a bloody baby, I'll tell you.
Oh,
she's brilliant. But it's long. A lot of people complain. I don't. Because I genuinely enjoy it.
The ballet.
There's 2 nights for the ballet school, 2 concerts.
Wow.
First night's 4 hours. Second night was about 4.5, and I loved every bit of it. It was brilliant. My son came the second night, wasn't so much into it, very tired, very over it, which is understandable. He's all about his footy, but he was there supporting his sister.
And that's the main thing.
Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, their choice in music for those concerts as well is brilliant. I'm like,
so everyone was Dance Monkey?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm talking like Grease and The Greatest Showman.
Oh, right. Nutcracker? Did they do any classical stuff?
No, Nutcracker. I did take my daughter to see the Nutcracker in the same place. She loved it.
Oh, cool.
It's brilliant. So it's a beautiful art form, as I keep banging on about. But anyway, Steve, let's get on to our question of thy week.
That's right, Cam. And our question of the week this week, what is your favourite music release for 2019?
Who's going first?
Well, I've just handed you the script, so you can go first.
Oh, yeah, we're not doing ours first.
No, we're not doing it. We're going to read them. We're going to read them out, as we've done for every other episode, Cam.
Well,
have you been paying attention for the whole season?
I need to get new glasses.
Oh, Christ. Don't.
I put the tip in a bit there. David!
You're pushing the stool in.
Well, as the typo says, David.
No, that's his name.
Oh, really?
He's Brazilian. That's how it's spelt.
David.
David from Brazil.
David.
Nice, keep going.
He has said, definitely the album Shaped by Fire by As I Lay Dying. Steve, there's a lot of metal, a lot of heavy stuff that people are loving this year, which is great. Sean has said Atonement by Killswitch Engage. Brutal. Brutal. Mm-hmm. Brutally awesome. Fernanda has said Trauma by I Prevail, and she said it's the best album ever.
Wow.
Ever, Steve.
Wow.
Well, we saw them at Download,
yes.
And they were brilliant live. They were so good. So Owen has written in and said the long-awaited album Fear Inoculum by Tool. It was very, very popular, wasn't it, Stephen?
Well, it knocked Taylor Swift off number 1.
Yeah. Well, I'd knock her off too, but...
with a Tool.
Yeah. But they also brought all their music out digitally as well, which was huge for the band.
As did The 12th Man.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
So it's
sticking up your ass, Tony Greg. Does anyone do that kind of comedy release anymore where it's, what would you call it? Mockumentary? It's not mockumentary.
It's satire.
Satire.
Yes. Well, yeah. Probably.
Remember
possibly.
Guido Hatzis? Oh, God, I'm mad, all right.
Mate,
I am the wax and you are the flame burning in our candle of love, mate. Something like that.
You usually tell that to me off the mic.
Anyway, Steve, I digress. We need to talk about Brenton because Brenton has said Nature Nurture by Clowns, which we've featured on the show before as well, and saw him at Unify earlier this year.
And had a chat to them.
And we had a chat with those guys earlier this year on the show, so make sure you check out that interview.
Yeah.
And Danielle has written in and said 3 by Banks, as well as When We All Fall Asleep and Where Do We Go by Billie Eilish. Eilish. She's awesome. Oh, I love her.
Yeah.
George
a lot of dads love her, apparently.
She's 17.
No, she's 18 now. She turned 18.
Oh, she did? Love her.
Come on.
George has said the 50th anniversary deluxe vinyl release of Abbey Road by the Beatles. Remember when I walked across the Abbey Road crossing this year, Steve? Yeah. Did I mention that?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, no, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Got the photo blown up.
Yeah.
No one cares. Travis said, So What by While She Sleeps. So what? Steve interviewed those guys at Unify, didn't he?
I did. Yeah, they were lovely. They were great. That was actually, that was one of my favourite chats from the festival.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And Julia said The Balance by Catfish and The Bottom, and great new releases this year, Steve. What a year it's been for music.
Oh, there's more to come, Cam.
What a week it's been in football.
Exactly. Trent has said Feral Roots by Rival Sons. Brian has said One Too Many by Luke Combs. country music there. Amy has said, "We Are Not Your Kind" by Slipknot.
Oh.
Talk about brutal. Ben said, "The Greatest Mistake" by Birds of Tokyo.
Oh, I love me a bit of Birds.
Yeah. Les said, "Evergreen" by After the Burial, going on to say it's brutal as fuck.
Yeah.
Michelle, yeah, she said SOS by Millencolin, one of my favourites for this year. Came out, it was like first week of January or something. It was a really early one, that one.
Yeah, I saw him play it when I saw him at One Semi Russell. Brilliant.
Yeah, another band, forgot to mention.
Yeah, another band.
Jeez.
Oh, and Goldfinger was there?
Yeah.
Slowly.
Oh, of course.
Jesus, Steve. There's heaps we forgot to put in there.
Yeah, well, maybe if you did the rundown.
I did. I just forgot to
Michael said,
do my homework.
Yeah.
And
remember things. Yeah. No one cares. Michael said F&M by Lindemann, which features Till Lindemann, who was the frontman from Rammstein.
Oh, Rammstein.
Yes, it's all in German though, or Swedish. It's all in European.
German, yeah.
No, I know they're German, but
they-
the duo is the other guy's Swedish.
Svenska.
Exactly. So, moving on. Ryan
Should've done
said
your homework.
"Fishing for Fishies" by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Oh, King Giz Liz Wiz, beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. And Linda has said, "I really love the songs It Might Be Time by Tame Impala and Vacation Forever by Violent Soho. I'm looking forward to their new albums in 2020.
How was the
am I.
Impala? It was pretty tame.
But now it's time for our releases.
How was the Soho? Quite violent.
For crying out loud. If I can get you to just shut up and tell me what was your favourite release for 2019?
I'm not going to let you guess because I know you'll know what it is. Do you know how I always bang on about how one of the main reasons I love music is because it's like time travel. It can take you back to a certain time.
Absolutely.
And yeah, it's my favourite release for 2019 has to be 9 by Blink-182 because it just reminds me of my trip, and I know it's quite, most of the songs are quite uplifting and just makes me feel good. And my kids love it as well. So we've been playing it a lot in this house, and they sing along and we have a great time. So it's definitely got to be Blink-182. Wow.
There you go.
Album 9. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Seen it?
Seen it? Yeah, I suppose you can see it on YouTube.
On YouTube. Well, that's fantastic. So you're locking that in? That's a definite?
Oh, yeah. But don't get me wrong. Like, I'd love to say, like Jellyfish by Slowly or something like that. But
you're not?
Well, I'm not.
Yeah. Mine for this year would have to be DZ Death Rays, Positive Rising, Part 1.
Oh, brill.
Just a fantastic album. The track Into It's probably one of my favourites, which was the first single. And there's quite a few bangers on there as well. So don't know if Part 2's coming or when it's coming. But there are, quite a few albums this year. I was a fan of the Slipknot album, and also, as I mentioned before, the Millencolins album. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. And actually, an EP from a band that we're featuring later called OK Dane, their Alienation EP. Yeah, really get into that. So we'll talk about it a bit later in new music, which happens to be right now.
Because it's time for new music on Garage Dippy Dubby Doo.
That's right, Cam. And we're going to kick it off with Sydney indie pop rock band Ride for Rain, who have released their new single Rules on Envy, which is taken from the band's forthcoming EP Never Magenta, due in 2020. Now, the band give me a distinct 90s pop rock feel with a punk melody as well. Rules on Envy has a really upbeat pop punk hook to it, so we can possibly expect their EP to have a similar vibe throughout it when it's released next year. But right now, this is Rules on Envy by Ride for Rain.
I woke up, smelled the roses, I didn't give up. Take a sip, I'm a half-filled cup. It's on empty, cause of envy. Stuck on 10 speed, I won't give up. Suck it up, but just got $1 million and I don't wanna share it. It's a metaphor wrapped in a lesson of violence, and we all gotta wear it. I'm living it up, as you can see, I suck, but I'm trying to express it before I erupt. So I had enough, cause it's not enough. I'm ringing on. I woke up, smelled the roses, I didn't give up. Take a sip, I'm a half-filled cup. It's on empty, cause of envy. Stuck on 10 speed, I won't give up. Holy fuck, got a self-destruct. Guess I lost, so I'm gonna give up. These on envy, I've got plenty, I'm about to fall, and I just woke up.
That was Rules on Envy by Ride for Rain. Stephen?
Very nice, Cam.
Up next, we've got You Wouldn't Know by Sienna Wild. Steve, chat with them the other night.
Yeah,
Bloody brilliant.
yeah.
They're Melbourne indie rockers, Sienna Wild, and they've released their latest single, You Wouldn't Know. You wouldn't even know, Steve. You wouldn't even know if you knew.
Not even half of it, Cam.
No. Which is their second single for 2019. Now, this song is a gritty rock track, Steve.
Yep.
Reminds me a little bit of Eskimo Joe kind
Yep.
of style, which I freaking love that. You know how
Oh,
much
yeah.
I love Perth rockers.
Oh, absolutely. And these guys aren't even from Perth.
No, exactly. But it's the song's got like a quiet verse and it launches into a powerful chorus, which is what we absolutely love here at G Rock.
Oh, love powerful
Just
choruses.
speaks mosh pit to me.
Oh, yeah.
As I said, Steve interviewed John and Louis from Sienna Wild last week, and the guys were chatting about a release of an album in 2020. Like, there's going to be so much new music next year. I don't even know what if our ears are going to have time.
I'm trying to predict it. Yeah, I'm just having a 2020 vision.
Oh,
I stole
snap.
your third one.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
See what happens when you steal it? That's your first one.
Oh,
Yeah, and you've cancelled out my other two, so I've got another 3 to go now. So
No.
yeah, keep an eye out for their album in late 2020. But here is You Wouldn't Know by Sienna Wild.
It's all the same, she said, you're never at home. And when the cover was blue, it's all the same, she said, you'll go it alone. Leave it alone. 'Cause you wouldn't know. Well, 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 you wouldn't know. It ain't the same, yeah, she said it to me on the phone. She said you're out of control, yeah, she said she needed to be on her own. She's letting you go. She's letting you go.
that was You Wouldn't Know by Sienna Wild. Up next, Cam, I mentioned them earlier. This is Melbourne trio OK Dane and their latest single, Headache, taken from their debut EP, Alien Nation. Now, I tell you what, Cam, I really love this EP.
Well, you would, because they've written a song about you, just a headache. Sorry. I'm the one that just cheered a filing cabinet, so it's
That
all
is
good.
true. That's true. You were with your friends. Now, this is a great short rock EP. I'd say like Violent Soho, maybe Jimmy Eat World with a bit of distortion, like a distorted Jimmy Eat World maybe. It's just a feeling I get. So if you're a fan of those bands, definitely check out the Alienation EP. But right now, this is Headache by OK Dane.
Good things will come to all the rest of us. Plenty for some. Can never be enough. Take all I have and leave me in the dirt. Pretend you're cool as if it doesn't hurt. Be someone else's headache. My God, you're such a fuckface. I'm not ruthless, you're just stupid. I'm not yawning, you're just boring. I'm not ruthless, you're just stupid. I'm not yawning, you're just boring.
That was Headache by OK Dane. Up next, we've got Time Won't Wait by In Eyes, and they're from Gold Coast, Steve. Good to see some Gold Coast rockers rocking out.
Absolutely.
They've released their latest single, Time Won't Wait, because, Steve, let's be honest,
Time won't wait.
time won't wait,
Oh, not-
especially in 2020.
Not for us.
No.
No,
Can you hear me itching?
I can.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Itching my moustache.
Then why is your mic next to your groin? Sorry.
Because my mustache goes all the way down. I was getting a haircut / beard trim the other day from the barber
Yep.
by this quite flamboyant guy, and he's like, "Oh, you're quite hairy, aren't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, you're like me. It goes all the way down to your pubes. Like it joins up." I'm like, so after I fucked him.
You pushed his stool in and he continued on. Please continue.
I asked him for a cutthroat and it meant something completely different.
Oh, at least it wasn't a deep throat you're asking for.
Well, you get what you get and you don't get upset. Fuck, where was I?
Exactly. Where were we? Gold Coast music, Cam.
Yeah, Gold Coast music bloody rocks because, vocalist Rosie Jacobson delivers a bit of a dream state Tonight Alive kind of feel with their music.
Yeah, agree.
Whilst musically they remind me a little bit like Hands Like House. It's a really good mixture of all that, isn't it, Steve?
Oh, yeah.
Now, the band have promised more music on its way next year, so that's something to look forward to in 2020 when we've both got great vision and I don't have glasses anymore. Is that 1 or is that 3?
That's 10.
That's 1.
Oh, fine.
I'm back to 1. But let's rock out to a bit of Gold Coast rock and roll. This is Time Won't Wait by In Eyes.
That was Time Won't Wait by Gold Coast trio In Eyes. Our next track is by Sydney hard rock outfit Dreamers Crime. They've released their latest single, Silence. Now, the guitars throughout this track are great. I love the riff and the frantic guitar solo as well. We don't get enough good guitar solos these days, Cam.
We don't, Steve, and we do enjoy a good guitar solo.
Absolutely. Now, Dreamers Crime released their debut album, No Compromises, back in 2017, and Silence lays a great foundation for the band to launch themselves into the next decade. So let's check it out now. This is Silence by Dreamers Crime.
That was Silence by Dreamers Crime. Up next, Steve, is right up my alley. Yeah, you're dancing. He's dancing. I'm not sure why, but he's dancing.
Oh, yeah, I'm dancing.
Ted dancing. Oh, God.
Hold me closer.
This is the last song, everyone. So
for the year, for the decade.
Yeah, this is 1, 2, 3.
Potentially garage rock.
Yeah, this is it.
Totally.
It's all over. Let's end on a high with My Shitty Christmas by The Kids.
Oh, The Kids.
It's right up my alley. They're Sydney punk rockers, Steve.
Yep.
And they're called The Kids, and they've released a Christmas song called My Shitty Christmas. I love the picture as well. It's a picture of Santa taking a shit down a chimney with holding a crack pipe, which you just learnt what a glass Barbie was.
A glass, but I didn't know. There's so many names for so many different things.
True,
so
but
a glass Barbie.
You are a drug dealer now.
Well,
so.
yeah, only since I worked in a bank. But a glass Barbie, that's a crack pipe.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
Apparently, I've never tried it.
No.
I wouldn't because I can't even handle alcohol. I've had one beer and I'm already slurring my words.
That's true.
I'm a heroin overdose. My Shitty Christmas is the harsh truth of what Christmas is all about. Each member of the Kids, Steve, are under the age of 17, so they're literally kids.
Yeah.
But they've got influence of old punk bands like the Dead Kennedys, Bad Brains and the Sex Pistols. So I just love that shit.
Oh, of course.
It's just typical just punk rock. So you got to check out My Shitty Christmas by the Kids.
A day of peace and gives forgiveness turns to tears. How's the commission? Well, a mom gets sent off from the mall. Kisses, jingle bell rock songs. A divorce page, sad life filled with rain. Hang myself with a candy cane. No presents for me on December 25th. Guess my mom would rather buy her drinks. And I've been waiting for this fateful day all year
That was My Shitty Christmas by The Kids, and that is an end for new music for 2019 from the Garage Rock Podcast.
What a great way to end the new music segment for the year. Track number 1, 2, 3.
My Shitty Christmas.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Well, that is, I guess that's it for the end. Yeah.
We're going to get emotional. Should we do speeches? Let's do speeches.
What, are you going to bring up Bukakis again?
Oh, can we?
or just arrange one. Whatever you want to do. I'm not fussed. But we should probably wrap this up like a Christmas present.
Oh.
So that's... oh, no, that was terrible. How would you like to end this?
We should wish everyone a Merry Christmas and
Absolutely.
and a Happy New Year, and hopefully your dreams are bright and that... I don't even know if that's the words, but hopefully everyone has clarity and 2020 vision in 2020 like I'm hoping for, and direction in my life, because at the moment we're all just bumping around into other molecules and not really knowing where we're going.
I wasn't expecting it to get that deep. But,
no, neither did I, but I am friends with a philosopher now, so
that's what Elton said. Anyway,
Steve, once again, like to thank everyone that's contributed.
Yeah,
all the bands that we've interviewed, all the people that have written in about our questions every week.
Of course,
I'd like to thank Steve for doing all the hard work and showing up every week. And
I'd like to thank Cam for being the funny one.
It's not true. You set them up, I knock them down.
We're still talking about the beer, but no, we want to thank our listeners from all over the world who listen in each fortnight when we release the episodes and when we release the interviews and when we do the festivals, and the people who contribute right into us. It's when we started this, we weren't anticipating it, and the fact that it's happening, it's fantastic. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good. We have fun doing it, and as long as we keep having fun doing it, we'll keep doing it. So let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. So sorry.
And this is the last ever season 2.
The last ever season 2. But we'll be back with season 3 in 2020. Can you see it? Can you foresee it?
I can see it. I can see clearly now. 2020's almost here.
That's it. You've had your new 3. That's it. That's gone. That's it. That's it. So
ding, ding.
but for right now and for the rest of the year, I've been Steve.
And I've been Cameroni Nose.
See you next year for season 3.
Oh, have yourself a merry little Christmas.